Man Cave Classroom. I'm John Heagle, along with my partner in crime and education, Kevin Kogan. This one was great. I got this from the Suffolk County Historical Society. All right, right there. See,
we love historical societies.
local history. Here's what happened. I signed up. They actually send out like a primary source of the week, and I get this one. It was like, it's cool because it's like, well, I didn't need this at the moment, but I know I'm going to need it. So I kind of tucked it away, and we're going to use it today. So what we have is a letter, which is great. I'll read it to you. We have it. It's dated April 19th, 1918. This is from a Mrs. H.B. Fullerton from Medford, Long Island, New York, which is actually right where I live. This is exit 64 off the LIE.
And you know what? Just to stop you there.
Yeah.
I love local history.
Absolutely.
To bring into the classroom because our kids, we teach in Deer Park, New York, Long Island, and they're like, well, all right. Well, World War I's going on. Like, what did we have to do?
Right, absolutely.
And it really helps bring things into perspective. That yes, it was a global war. It was Americans' war, but like it impacted us here on Long Island as well. How many soldiers fought from Long Island and died? There's even soldiers from Deer Park who fought in World War I and died. So it's like to bring that little piece of world history to a local level for them is great.
And absolutely. And I mean, of course, we've been doing this for a while. When we go and plan and we're looking for images, we do Google searches.
Yep.
Something like this doesn't really come up that often.
It doesn't.
Because I would like to think I would have grabbed it.
And if it did, it's on like the 418th page of a Google search.
I'd like to think I would have grabbed it by now.
Right.
So, when it comes to, historical societies being there and being able to throw this at you, it's great.
Thank you, Suffolk County Historical Society.
Yeah, so April 19th, 1918. This is from Mrs. H.B. Fullerton, Medford, Long Island, New York. Exit 64 off the LIE. That's where right around where I used to live. Dear Madam, your prompt and patriotic response to the Navy's call for binoculars, telescopes, and spyglasses is most appreciated. The glasses will be very useful in the prosecution of naval operations until victory is won. At the termination of the war, I love this part, if possible, every effort will be made to return them to you, when it is hoped that you will feel compensated for any evidence of wear by the knowledge that you have supplied eyes for the Navy during a very trying period. On behalf of the Navy, I wish to thank you most heartily. Very respectfully, F.D. Roosevelt, Assistant Secretary of the Navy.
Wait, that would be Franklin Delano Roosevelt, future President of the United States.
So,
following in the footsteps of his cousin that he idolized, distant cousin that he idolized, Theodore Roosevelt, who had also been an Assistant Secretary of the Navy.
And then, of course, New York is coming up again. So when you kept connecting all these names. Now, the thing is that, depending on where you're at in the curriculum and when you introduce this document, Assistant Secretary of the Navy. Now, if this is an end of the year on a final exam, not a bad idea to trip somebody up. Wasn't he the president? I would say pay attention to this guy because his title is going to change.
And this is where we talk about historical context, because we are 1918, we're during World War I, so it is 20 years before he becomes president, essentially.
So, but before we even get too carried away with the name here, what is it that they're looking for in this letter?
He's sending out it's like a thank you letter.
Yeah.
He's thanking Miss Fullerton because she at some point had donated either binoculars, telescopes, or spyglasses, saying it's most appreciated that you gave them to us. When the war's over, if we can, we'll get them back to you. And we hope that you'll be compensated. We hope that if they're damaged in any way, you'll be I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Compensated.
You'll
reimbursed.
You'll respect the fact that they were damaged.
Yes.
In an
you
effort
donated
to win
them
the
willingly, knowing that you're probably not going to see them again.
So what I take from this, though, is the fact that somebody who's extremely important in the government, if you are the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, you're a pretty high-ranking government official.
True story.
Is taking the time to write a letter thanking somebody for these donations, which makes me realize or think that these must have been really needed.
Yeah,
absolutely. That Franklin Delano Roosevelt is taking the time to personally write or type. Who knows if he actually personally typed it? But he's sending this letter, putting his name to it, thanking this woman for this donation.
And here's the other thing too: if they are accepting donations for binoculars, what else do they need?
What else?
So it kind of tells you you're walking away from this and you're like, we weren't prepared for this war. And there's a lot of sources that said, hey, even in boot camp, these guys were walking around with like wood rifles to simulate actually carrying them. They were doing the same for artillery. So we would go, if we're looking, okay, this is locally.
I'm wondering why she does donate them. What did she see that made her say, you know what, I've got an extra pair of binoculars. My son was in the Boy Scouts. He's now a grown man. I've got 2 pairs of binoculars that he used. Let me donate these to the Department of the Navy.
I know someone who knows someone who was on the Titanic.
Yeah.
So let's see. Was this happening elsewhere? Another source. Let's look here.
This is where we look for, like, as historians and think like
What's that
historians,
word?
corroborating evidence.
Yeah, we're looking for it. Is this just isolated to Long Island? Were there only good people living in Medford, or New York? Or, was this commonplace? You'd want to go, because it does seem kind of silly looking back on it. It's like, how does the military not have binoculars? You would think that that's a basic piece. So you'd want to go, okay, was this really an issue? Well, let's see. So we got a guy right there, hands out, and he's blindfolded.
Not only that, he almost appears to be some sort of officer on the ship. He's dressed differently from the men in the background. The men in the background appear to be manning some sort of turret here.
Right.
I would guess. And this guy's like, "Sir, what are we doing? There's an enemy over here, but what's going on with him?"
Now, just to give you an idea, since we're looking for evidence somewhere else, this is from the Suffolk County Historical Society. Now we're looking at resources from the World War I Museum.
Okay.
So here we go. Will you supply eyes for the Navy? Navy ships need binoculars and spy glasses. Glasses will be returned to termination of war if possible. Going back to the $1 will be paid for each one accepted. So now they added an incentive. Tag each article with your name and address and express or mail to Honorable Franklin D. Roosevelt, Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Naval Observatory, Washington, D.C. Will you help us stand watch on a destroyer?
Well, now I know why Miss Fullerton sent her extra binocular spy glasses to... Yeah, she got paid.
She got $1.
She got $1. Which, all right, now this is where the kids in her class are like,
well, what's it equate to today?
How much is $1 in 1918?
I mean, we will go and look at it.
$5 today.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
it is.
I think it's more, they have to put like an incentive out there to try and get people. And again, other lessons, this is advertising. You have to get people to want to do it.
And when we talk about historical context, I know the way we teach our curriculum, it kind of overlaps from like westward expansion to the Industrial Revolution to immigration and urbanization. Well, this is the early 1900s. People are still living in tenement houses in New York City. The great wave of immigrants are coming to America. So, like, there are a lot of people living in, especially cities in America, who are extremely poor.
Yes.
So it's like, wow, I do have a pair of binoculars.
No, you did have. I took it because
Exactly.
I'm poor and I'm living in a tenement.
I do have a pair of binoculars, and that $1 might feed my family for a week.
Exactly.
So I will be donating.
Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to follow us. We're constantly putting stuff out there on Twitter, Man Cave Classroom. We're also on Instagram. Sometimes we'll send our behind-the-scenes photos of what goes on in this
Our
low
blooper reels.
production Man Cave Classroom here. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Be good to yourself and each other.